We now move to the next module, that is the module number 4, and the first lesson in that is graphing linear functions. This module is mainly about linear and non-linear. Before we begin, I just want to make this clear. Linear is something that's straight. Straight lines are linear, whereas non-linear are curved like this, which is not straight basically. That's it. Okay. Now we will be mainly dealing with linear functions, that is straight lines. We will see it in a while. Before we begin, let's look into the learning objectives. They are to graph linear functions by making tables of values, and to graph linear function by using x and y intercepts. There are two methods which we will look into, and there are some shortcut methods which we will learn along the way. There are keywords which are linear and non-linear. So linear is straight, non-linear is curved. That's the basic understanding. And now let's look into graphing linear functions using table. Now over here, what doesn't matter what they say, it's basically making a table of x and y values, and then looking at the x and y, we plot in the coordinates. We know the x-axis is always the straight line, horizontal line. Y-axis is this one. So if it is 0 and 1 over here, x0 is over here, 1, and so on. We just plot points. We will see in a problem, you'll understand much better. But the table method is always making a table. That's the main concept in it. Now here we have equation. Graph minus 2x minus 3 equals y by making a table. How do we do this? Now, all you need to do is, you can choose any values of x. That's up to you. But the best values would be somewhere from 0, 1, 2 and less than 0. You know, generally the values taken are from say minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2. These would be really nice values to get an easy understanding. And then whatever x values we choose must be substituted in this equation and find the y values. And then what we do is graph them. Now see, look at this table. This must be always done. X values, this column is what we assume. We can take any values for that matter. You can take 1,000, 10,000, anything, but just that you will get a weird looking graph. So it's better to take something close to 0. Now, next is this equation that is equal to y, isn't it? Now here there is a variable x, but once we assume a x value, we can substitute over here, put it in the calculator and find the y value. And then we write it as ordered pair. Now, over here x value is assumed of minus 4, minus 2, 0, 1, 3. It's up to you. You can even take from minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1 and 2. You will get the same answer. Graph will be the same, doesn't matter. Next, whatever is the x value, substitute over here instead of x. Substitute this instead of x and then solve. Negative 2 times negative 4 is positive 8 minus 3, that would be 5. Or you can use calculator. And next, this ordered pair is writing the x and y. Always remember the x values will be written first, x comma y. This is ordered pair. So x coordinate and then the y coordinate. So it's minus 4 comma 5. Why? Because x is minus 4, y is 5. Same thing can be done to the others. All you're doing is taking this x value instead of x over here, substitute it, minus 2. Minus 2 times 2 is minus 4, minus 3 is 1. You write minus 2 and plus 1. With 0, it's very simple. This term just cancels off. It becomes 0 because 0 multiplied by anything is 0. You're remaining only with negative 3. So that's it. 0, minus 3. Substitute 1 instead of x. You will get minus 2 into 1. Minus 3. Minus 2 into 1 is minus 2 itself. Minus 2 minus 3 is minus 5. So it's 1 minus 5. Lastly, we have 3 over here. Substitute over here instead of x as 3. It will be minus 6 minus 3, that is negative 9. So it's 3 9. This is the table of values. This is how you make a table. And now how do you graph? You have x and y axis, right? All you need to see is what is the coordinates. Let's start with 0. It's always easy to plot this point. X is 0, that means it's over here. If y is 0, it's over here. But we don't have y is 0, only x is 0. So what is the value? Minus 3. So drag down 1, 2, 3, because each unit is 2. Each column is, each box is 2 units, right? So 1, 2, 3 in the middle over here. This is minus 3. So what you got? 0 and minus 3. This is 1 point. It's not over. You need to do other points. I'll just do the point over here. Now, let's take 1. 1 is minus 5. So 1 is somewhere over here. And minus 5 is over here. You need to join them up together. So this is the point. Let's go behind 0. It's minus 2 and 1. So minus 2 is over here. 1 is over here. So this is a point. What about the next one? Minus 4 and 5. It's minus 4 and 5 here. And we had 3, which was equal to minus 9. That's over here. And you don't need to plot 5 points. 3 points are more than enough because it's linear. You're dealing only with straight lines. So 1, 2, 3 points, even 2 points are more than enough. But you go to 3 points, you know. Minimum points required to find the graph is 2. So if you choose any 2 points, you can draw a straight line. Now you have 5 points. Take a scale, catch it along all these points and draw a straight line. That is it. That is how you graph it. Now let's see one more problem. Check. You can try this by yourself. Do the table and do it. Just the equation changes. And then we will look into a shortcut method as well. Here now it's the same thing. Table, assume x values. Always take values less than 0, more than 0. So here 0, minus 5, minus 3 and all these values are taken. You need to just substitute them over here. So now what happens? You need to substitute 2 into minus 5 plus 5. So it will be negative 10 plus 5, that's minus 5. Then same thing, 2 minus 3 plus 5. 2 times minus 3 is minus 6 plus 5 is negative 1. Now you need to do that continuously for the other terms as well. Minus 2 plus 5 is plus 3. And you can see over here 0. This will be 0. So it's 5 and so on. This is how we find the y values. Once you have x and y, just to the graphing. You can see 0 over here. And what is the value? 5. 0 and 5. Yes. Now minus 1, 3. Minus 1 and 3. Yes. Minus 3 and minus 1 over here. Enough, more than enough. Just draw a straight line. So this is how we solve it. Now this is the general way, table of methods, but this is lengthy. How would you do in a shortcut method? Now the reason I'm teaching you this method is you will have to learn this eventually when we deal with, in the next lessons, when we deal with slope intercept forms. So let me teach you now itself. I will write an equation. Y equals mx plus b. This is a very important equation which is called slope intercept form. It's for linear equations, slope intercept form. Look at this equation. Y equals 2x plus 5. Now y and x will be variables. This m is an important value and b is an important value. What are they? M is the slope. Now imagine it's a straight road, flat road. The slope is 0. There is no undulation. It's always 0. But now imagine the slope of the road is going higher. You need to put more acceleration. The slope increases. The slope will be increasing, you know, when the slope might be over here 0.5, 0.6, 1. It increases. A mountain might have a 45-degree slope, which is 1, you know. That is about slope. Now, whenever you see this beside x, that is the slope. And lastly, we have this b, right? That is the y-intercept. We will come into this in a while in the next objective. But what is that y-intercept? Now, you have this x and y, right? This is y-axis, this x-axis. When a graph touches the y-axis, this is the y-axis, that is y-intercept. Intercept means you're intercepting something. This is the point of interception, touching point. Okay, like a roundabout in a road, intercepting where many cars cross each other in different roads. So intercept. Now here, when the graph touches the y-axis, it's the y-intercept. intercept. Okay, I'll write int. When it touches the x-axis, that is x-intercept. Okay, so it's very simple whenever the graph touches the axes. Now, why did I tell all this? Now, look at this. Now, we will learn more about this in the coming lessons, but now I just want you to remember whenever the slope is positive, that means it's plus 1, 2, 3, 4, or plus 0.5, any positive value, the graph will always go upwards. It might be like this. See, it will always be upwards. Okay, all these possible. If it was minus, then it would have gone down. So this is the difference. Now, if it was a negative slope, -2, it would have gone down. You know, it will be something like this. Negative numbers, it's always down. I hope this is clear. It's always from left to right. You should see from left side. Now, it's a positive number. It will go positive upside. Okay, this is about the slope. Now, can you see this phi? Phi is the y-intercept. This is y-intercept. Is it touching y-axis at phi? Yes. So yes, this is the correct graph. Now, if there is MCQ, it is very easy to find out the graph. Now, imagine we have, before going to our next problem, one second. Let's look into this. Y equals what? -2x minus 3, right? Let's see this graph. Since it's -2, it must go downwards. Yes, it's going downwards from left to right, correct? And this must touch the y-axis at -3. Is it true? Yes, it is touching at -3. That is absolutely right. This is the graph. Now, if you have many graphs like this, which is the correct answer? Let's look into this. What is the slope? Before the x value, it's positive. That's what we need to see. So it can be this graph, or this graph. This is wrong graph. So one is eliminated. Sometimes you can eliminate more than one in the exam. Two might be eliminated. Now let's see the y-intercept. See over here. This is 3, which is wrong. This is 5, correct. This is -2, wrong. So this is your correct graph. Just by looking at the equation, you can tell this is the correct answer. So this is how we can easily find the graphs. There are more methods which I'll tell you eventually in the coming lessons, by substituting x values in this equation, finding the points and everything. But for now, since it's just beginning, you can do the table, absolutely fine. But you can follow any method generally when they ask you to graph. Table method is the most time consuming method. So what you do some tricks. See what is the y-intercept, see what is the slope, and find the answer. I hope this is clear. We will see next type of problem. Here again they have asked you same thing, making a table. Now we will try this another way. So first of all, let's go through the table method over here. What do? Substitute, assume x values less than 0, more than 0. Now substitute the x values. Guys, you can do it for -1, -2 as well, but here -4 is taken because it's 1/4. So it's 1/4, right? If you don't have a calculator, it's easy if you take multiples of 4. 0, 4, 8. Why? Because x is 4, it cancels off, right? 1 by 4 into 8, it will be 1 time, 2 time. So that is why you have 4, multiples of 4 are taken. But you have calculator, you can avoid this and take any numbers you want. It's fine. Now then, substitute this instead of x. You put x instead of, that's number instead of x. So it's -8 plus 3. Now what's going to happen? It will be -2 plus 3. It's 1. Write the ordered pair. Now -4 divided by 4. It will be -1 plus 3 is +2. Same way, do it for the others, and then you will get the ordered pairs of all the x values. Now graph. This is how you graph it. But now let's look over here. What is this slope? Positive or negative? It's positive slope. It must go upwards. Yes. What is the y-intercept? 3. It must touch y. This is correct. So this is another way to check your answer, whether it's correct or wrong. Next, then, please try this by yourselves. Please do try this yourself. It's just like what we have done. You can do the table, or you can try, graphing by yourself. But it's better to do the table because I mentioned it to make a table. Now, let's see over here. Sorry, Okay, all at once. Now you're assuming x values, say for example minus 10, minus 5, 5 and 10. Why? Because its denominator is 5. That's why you're taking multiples of 5, but you do not need to do it even without it. Also, it's possible because your calculator, but it's good to take multiples of 5 and then substitute over here. Instead of x as minus 10, it will be 1 time, 2 times. So minus 2 times 6 is minus 2 times 3 is minus 6, minus 2 is minus 8. Again, minus 5 would be this 1. So it will be negative 3 minus negative 2 minus 5. Same way, please do the others. When it's 0, this is gone. It will be minus 2 and you can graph it. Now, if you look closely here, the slope is positive, line goes upwards. Now, don't think it must be above only. No, it can be anywhere, just that the orientation must go upwards, like you're going upwards. Now, what about this minus 2? Yes, it's minus 2 y-intercept. Correct. That's how we can check the problem. Check the answer of the graph. Now then, we have some more graphing of y equals 5 by making a table. But before making a table, guys, look at the question and think about it for a while. You can pause the video and try to graph it by yourselves. I hope you tried it. Now, let me just draw the coordinate plane, x, y, right? Now here, you might realize one thing. Y-axis is over here, y, phi somewhere over here, right? What about it now? You can directly draw a straight line at phi. Okay, that's very close, but anyways, you should just draw a straight line at phi. That's the answer. Y is phi. Now, over here, let's do a table. Now, this can be written as, now you always write x term, right? So, I told you y equals mx plus b. Now, here you can see this is 0. Slope is 0. Why? When slope is 0, what happens? X also is 0, so you don't write that. This entire term is 0, so we don't write it. But it's 0x plus phi. Whenever slope is 0, it's a flat line. You can remember that as well. Now here, y equals 0x plus phi. How do you understand? Assume the x values if you are doing a table. Assumed x values are so and so. All you need to do is substitute in 0 multiplied by x. So everything becomes 0. Doesn't matter what value you take, it will be only phi. So the answer of y will be always phi because x is 0. 0x, right? That term entirely becomes 0. So you're getting ordered pairs. Doesn't matter which x value, you will get y as phi. So if you're graphing it, it will become this. So for any possible x value, the value of y is only phi. So instead of all that, you can just write a straight line at phi. Because y is this axis at phi, so draw a straight line. Now we will see another problem. X equals negative 2. Now I want you all to try this by yourselves. Do try it. Pause the video and try it by yourselves. I hope you at least tried solving it by yourself. Now let's see here. X equals negative 2, isn't it? So the coordinate plane minus 2 is somewhere here. Draw a straight line at 2. That's it. That's the answer. Now here, even if you do the table, what happens? Now if you're doing the table, y is not there. So that means doesn't matter which x, there is only x equals minus 2. Doesn't matter which value of y you take, any value of y, just like what happened a while ago. I'll take y as minus 5, but x is minus 2 because there's no y at all. So it doesn't matter which y value you take. Y equals minus 3. What is the x? Minus 2. What is the x value? Minus 2. Let it be minus 3. X value is the same thing for any y value. So y can be 0, 1, 2, 3. It will be just the same point. So it's a straight line at minus 2. That's it. Now over here, there are some check problems. We can just draw them straight away. At 6, you should just see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Draw a straight line. That is how we basically solve the basic graphs. Now we will go to something called intercepts. I had told a little bit about y-intercept. We will add more to it now. Intercept, as it is, the word itself tells, you're intersecting, touching at different points. This is intercept. Now here, you must always remember there are two axes, y and x. If they tell you x-intercept, that means the graph is touching the x line. Y-intercept, that means it's touching y. But what is the thing? If it is touching x-axis over here, what is the y value? X value can be anything. It varies. It's variable, right? X can be over here. If it touches over here, it changes. X-intercept. But what is the y value? Y value at this point is always 0. So doesn't matter what, at x-intercept, y will be 0. And at y-intercept, what is the x value? This is the x-axis. For y-intercept, x value is always equal to, always equal to 0. Now, this is an important concept you must remember. So now, whenever they ask you to find x and y-intercept, just remember, when I'm finding x-intercept, y must be 0, y-intercept, x must be 0. Now, in this equation, you don't need to do anything. All you need to do is find the intercept, right? When you find the x-intercept, what is y? It's not let, it must be, y must be 0. So all you do is substitute this equation, minus x plus 2 instead of y, put 0 equals 8. Now this is 0, minus x equals 8. Take this minus sign to the other side, it will be x equals minus 8. So this is the x-intercept. So why do we find, whenever we make y 0, that is the x-intercept. You can see, just equating y as 0, you get x as minus 8. That is that is where the graph intersects the x-axis or touches the x-axis. That is at minus 8. Ordered pair are always x and y. Minus 8 comma 0 is the ordered pair. Always y will be 0. Now if it is y-intercept, always x will be 0. But what is y value? Let's solve. Here in the same equation, put x as 0. Minus 0 plus 2y equals 8. This is gone. So take 2 to the 2y equals 8. Divide both the sides by 2. It will be y equals 4. Y-intercept is 4. 0 comma 4. Now you can see all you're doing is put x as 0 to find where the graph touches the y-axis. Now here you can simplify 2y, y equals 4. That is 0 comma 4. These are the intersecting points. Now basically in a graph, you know x-intercept is somewhere over here. X is minus 8. Let us keep this as minus 8 and 0. Y-intercept is 0 comma 4. This is somewhere over here, okay? 4. Now we know the 2 points of intersection and it's linear graph. That means we can draw a straight line connecting them. That is your graph. That's it. We can see over here graphing equation. See? Draw the two points 4 comma 0 minus 8 and draw a straight line. That is it. That will be your answer. I'll recall again, whenever you're finding intercepts, x-intercept will make y 0. Let's look. Here this is x-intercept point, y value. See this y scale is there, it's 0. Whereas y-intercept is this point, y value is 4, but what is the x value? 0. So we just substitute the zeros accordingly and solve the intercepts. Once you know the intercept, minus 8 comma 0, 0 comma 4, draw a straight line connecting 2 points. That's your answer. Please do try this problem by yourselves. It's a very simple problem. The intercept method is also simple, you know. The other method which I told, where the slope is positive, negative, that is also handy. The reason why I'm telling that now is because you will study it anyways in some time. Okay, we will have to study slope intercept. That's why it's useful. Now back here. Here what you need to do, let's find x-intercept first. All you need to do is substitute y equals 0. Now what happens over here when y is 0? It is 4 into 0 equals minus 12 x plus 36. Now take this minus 12 to the other side. This is 0, right? This is 0. So minus becomes plus 12x equals 36. Divide both the sides by 12. X is 36 by 12. 12 3 times is 36. Answer is 3. So x-intercept is, it is 3 comma 0. Okay, that is it. Now, what about the next value? Now, next value over here, y-intercept. What is the value of x? X will be 0 at y-intercept. Now, all you need to do is substitute the same equation, keep y as unknown, minus 12 x will be 0 plus 36. Now, this goes to be 0. So, what happens? It is 4y equals 36. Divide y both the sides by 4. It will be 36 by 4. It's 9 times. That is equal to 9. This is the answer. So the ordered pair would be 0, x is 0, comma 9. That's it. Now when you're graphing, we must see where over here the first one 3, x is 3 over here and y is 0, 1 point. Another point would be 0 and 9. Provided this is 9, this is 3. Now draw a straight line connecting both of those. You should touch them both. Now that's it. That will be your answer. Sorry, this is it. I hope this is clear. It's a very simple, straightforward problem. Just find the x-intercept value, y-intercept value, plot those 2 points, draw a straight line. That's it. You will get the answer. Now you can see over here the intercepts are, now intercept is what? 3. X-intercept we found, y-intercept was 9. Now then they graph it. It's 3 and 9. Draw a straight line over. So that's how you do it. Now let's see a real world problem. We have about pets. Angelina bought a 15-pound bag of food for a dog. The bag contains 60 cups of food and she feeds a dog 2 halves of 5 by 2. This is 2 halves, okay? 2 and half. That is 2.5 or 5 by 2. That's the same thing. Cups of food per day. The function y plus 5 by 2x equals 60 represents the amount of food left in the bag y after x days. Graph the amount of dog food left in the bag as function of time. Now what happens is we have got a graph. Now this tells you the when we saw amount of food that is left, okay, that is in y. That is over here after x days. As time is going, we need to see what is happening to the food over here. How much is remaining? So now after so many days, what is happening? So they have told over here x is the days. So whatever is in the x-axis is the time or days, and y-axis is the food, amount of food that's remaining. Here the food that is consumed is constant. They have told every day 5 by 2, that is 2.5 cup of food is being used. So now imagine, like in a simple way, now you save 1 dirham every day. First 0 day is 0, next day you will say 1 dirham, 1. Second day you will say 1 more, it will be 2 dirhams, 3, 4, 5. It will be a straight line. You can graph it like this, like a straight line, isn't it? Same way now we can graph this equation and see how the food is reducing. So initially it will be a maximum amount, isn't it? Some amount, whatever was the food. Then after 1 day it reduces, and eventually it will come down to 0. So this graph is required so that we can easily find out and we can tell, okay, in the 10th day it will be so much, or 15th day it will be 0. That is what we can do. Now here remember the first thing I told you, y equals mx plus b. If you want to check, you can see always this is going to reduce, right? Now y, if you take equal to minus 5 by 2x equal plus 60, right? It's negative slope, it's going downwards, okay? Don't get confused. Oh, this is plus slope, it should go up. No, y equals to, so this will go to the other side, it will be negative. Now back here, instead of all that, the easiest method is by intercepts. Now we know x and y intercept. They have told in the part A, find the x and y intercept. So let's do it. This equation is given. All the situation is just real world situation, but the problem will be same. X intercept, y is 0. Sorry, y will be equal to 0. So all you need to do is substitute 0 plus 5 by 2x equals 60. Solve this. It will be 5 by 2x equals 60. You can use calculator if you want. Now take this to the other side, flip it. It will be 60 multiplied by 2 divided by 5. So 5 one time, 10 12 times, and x will be 24. So x is 24. Now what about y-intercept? Y-intercept means x is equal to 0 and substitute x as 0. Y plus 5 by 2 into 0 equals 60. It is y equals 60. Very simple. This term goes off 0 and this is the answer. Y is 60, x is 24. So in the graph, now if you write a graph, y will be somewhere over here 60, x is 24, it reduces something like this. That is the answer. Okay, now you can see in the day 24 the dog food will be 0. Now x, see over here, this x-intercept is 24 and the y-intercept was to be found out to be 60. Whatever we got, it is just different method done, detailed method. Whatever I have written over here is the same thing. You can just follow this, you will get the full marks. Now the part 2 is graphing. The two intercept points are there. This is 60 and this is 24. All you need to do is draw a straight line between them, and 60 and 24, it's just before 25, and that's the graph. This is it. It's a very easy problem. There's nothing much in this. Now similarly, you have a check problem that is using intercept. I'll read the problem and then you guys pause the video and try it by yourselves. A farm produces about 4,362 pounds of peanuts per acre. 1 cup of peanut butter requires 2/3 pound of peanuts. If 1 acre of peanuts is harvested to make peanut butter, the function y equals -2 by 3x plus 4,362 represents the pounds of peanuts remaining y after x cup of peanut butter made. So what they are saying is, see, in that peanuts are harvested, peanut butter is made, and as you make the peanut butter bottles, the peanuts which are there harvested reduces. So they just want to graph that equation. So in this, the context doesn't really matter. Once you have equation, you need to find the x-intercept, y-intercept. Over here, what happens? Y is 0, at y-intercept x is 0, and then graph. So I would kindly ask you to pause the video now, try this by yourself, and then continue watching. I hope you at least tried. And now let's do it. Y is 0. At 0 equals -2/3 x plus 4,362. And now this -2/3 goes to the other side. It will be +2/3 x equals 4,362. So this is 2. Okay. Now what happens? 3 goes to the other side. 2 comes down. It will be x equals 4,362 times 3 divided by 2. It will be 2,150. 300 will be 151.31. Okay, so 2 3, yeah, and then multiply this by 3. It will be about 6,393. I hope it's correct. It's around that. Okay, you can use calculator. Now about y-intercept, this is x-intercept. Y-intercept, same thing, but what happens? X will be 0, so -2/3 multiplied by 0 plus 4,362. 4,362. That means y will be equal to the value 4,362. This is it. Now in the graph, what you need to do is x value must be somewhere over here and y value will be a little lesser than that. Draw a straight line. Let's see the answers. So the over here you can see, okay, my bad. I'm sorry, I divided it wrongly. Apologize for that. Now here, please do make sure you do it properly. Okay, when you multiply, do it properly. Don't do the mistake I did. Okay, yes, I realize what is my mistake now. It is 80 over here, not 131. 80, it's 150 plus 31. It's 181. And then when you multiply 181 2181, 2181 times 3, you'll get this answer. This is wrong. So that's the x-intercept. Now here the y-intercept was found. That's correct. Now all you need to do is graph them up. So which is the correct graph? Look closely. X value must be 6,5 4, 3. Let's see, is this correct? No, this is wrong. We can eliminate few. This is wrong. This is absolutely wrong. Now, this is less than 6,000, which is wrong. Over here, it is around 6,000 plus, and it is 4,000 as a y-intercept. So the graph C is the correct one. Okay, the answer is not sure. It is the graph. Okay, it's over here, C. So this is how we solve the problems using intercept method. It's a very simple method. You can use any method. Table method is also possible, but it's such a long method, right? So just use the intercept method, save time, and we will learn more problems in the coming lessons. So that's it for this lesson. I hope you have found it useful. And I kindly ask you, if you're not yet subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe. It would mean a lot to me. And I appreciate all those who are subscribed. It means so much to me. Thank you guys. And see you soon in the next video. Bye-bye for now.